Joining us now for tonight's KX conversation is U.S. Senator Kevin Cramer. Senator Cramer, thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity, as always.
What are your thoughts currently on the building tensions in Ukraine right now?
Well, there are a couple of things. First of all, just the diatribe the other night of Vladimir Putin's grievances that he aired on television that clearly seemed to be blowing up any off-ramp that he was hoping to have, if he was hoping to have an off-ramp to further escalation. And sending troops, but by the way, in that speech, of course, it ended by him signing a recognition national law because it's a violation of what's called the Budapest Memorandum of 1994, when the United States, United Kingdom, and Russia recognized and acknowledged both the sovereignty of Ukraine and the borders at that time. And so this along, of course, with the annexation of Crimea 8 years ago, is further violation. But sending troops into those areas, that's an invasion.
Why is it so important that the U.S. stands strong with Ukraine and NATO?
Yeah, so there's really, I think, three fundamental reasons. I already referenced the Budapest Memorandum, which the United States was a signatory to, along with the United Kingdom and Russia. So we have an obligation there. The second thing is we're part of NATO. And while Ukraine is not part of NATO, NATO, of course, was created specifically to push back against Russian aggression, or really against the reestablishment of the Soviet Union. We're there to protect Europe and the world from another Soviet Union style of dominance, if you will. And so we have those obligations. The other thing is that we are the freedom leaders in the world, and they look to us. And rightfully so. Now, our obligations, of course, first and foremost have to be at home, but there are lots of good reasons for the United States to be supportive of Ukraine, including back home, because we have a lot of course, Ukrainian American citizens here in North Dakota. We have a lot of heritage from there, but we also, a unified Europe is really important to American markets.
What are your final thoughts on next steps, or what we can be doing right now to be proactive?
I think we need to be far more aggressive. I applaud the president for stepping up after the troops coming in to the separatist regions. But I think we need to be stronger. We need to look at what are called secondary sanctions, not just the primary sanctions, because if you don't go after the secondary part of the value chain, what happens is banks and energy companies will find different ways to get around the sanctions and still sell the products. But we also have to recognize, if you do that, and I hope that we do, that our allies are going to have to, they're going to have to step into it a little bit as well, because you don't put sanctions on a country as big as Russia, much less secondary sanctions, without it having some spillover impact on other economies throughout Europe and throughout the world. So we've got to all be in this together, and the more united we are as the West, the faster we can get through this.
All right, Senator Kevin Cramer, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. And you can learn more about Senator Cramer's positions regarding Ukraine on kxnet.com.